Hello World Wide Web, I'm Dr. Shado, the internet personality with the best hair, and the release of Jurassic World is just around the corner, and I probably won't be able to make it down to a theater to actually watch it first day, but that doesn't mean that I can't review other dinosaur movies. Such as Carnosaur, which folks seemed a bit upset about the fact that I did not cover this series back in Dino-cember, instead focusing specifically on the Jurassic Park franchise. Put simply, Carnosaur is a mockbuster, designed to capitalize off of the popularity of Jurassic Park and released to theaters 4 weeks before that movie. Of course, when you get down to it, it is a little more complicated than that. Carnosaur is technically based on a 1984 novel of the same name, but broken down scene by scene, the two have very little in common. The movie isn't a direct rip-off of Jurassic Park either, as there are different mechanisms that bring dinosaurs to life in this film, and in many ways it seems to be inspired by classic zombie movies more than anything. Of course, it's still an extremely low-budget flick being produced by Roger Corman. On that note, let's take a look at Carnosaur and see the Cormans pulling an Asylum before the Asylum was even the Asylum. The movie opens very peculiarly in much the same way you'd expect something from PETA, up to and including showing real animals being killed on screen. So yeah, animals were harmed in the making of this movie. For more than just feeding the staff and providing the wardrobe, I mean. This leads to a meeting at GMO Food Corporation Eunice. The lead guy, Fallon, played by Ned Balamet, is interested in hearing what their very intelligent but very secretive doctor has been working on for the company.
We cannot legally interfere in her research for another 18 months without forfeiting our patents.
Which answers nothing, except for the fact that Eunice evidently is okay with signing extremely restrictive contracts against themselves, and they really like Coca-Cola. The legendary Dr. Tiptree is played by Diane Ladd, mother of Laura Dern, who played Dr. Sattler in Jurassic Park the same year this movie was made. I expect between the movies there were some things that were related, but not quite so literally. The experiments in question are, of course, being conducted on the very same stock that Eunice ships out for public consumption. Also, it doesn't take long before things start taking a turn for the weird. Ambushed by the Sam Fisherosaurus. Tripty doesn't seem to be interested in the escaped specimen, or the men's lives, as much as how far along the experiment has progressed. Not to say nobody cares about this incident.
Seal the farm. No trucks in or out. I want it found before the morning shift comes in.
Fucking hell, just dump all the responsibility on the night crew, as usual. With this order from on high to make sure no one enters, no one leaves, obviously the first thing the security guard does is let someone leave anyway. He hardly makes it down the road before the bird shit hits the fan, so naturally the driver gets out of the truck to investigate the strange noises. Okay, did the people not realize that they had just loaded a dinosaur onto the truck? Or is this like AVP, where the fuckers grow faster than weeds and fertilizer laced with cocaine? Enough action, though. We have to introduce our lead, Doc, played by Raphael Sparg. Yeah, that. Seen here reviewing Brain Dead. So there's another one. I'll have to find out if it's available on Blu-ray. More importantly, there are intruders at the work site, so he runs out, drunk off his ass and brandishing a rifle to chase them off. However, Doc still manages to find a straggler hidden amongst the machines, Jennifer Runyon playing the role of Thrush. She's part of the local hippie community with their peace, love, and happiness by day and industrial sabotage by night. Also, it appears that summer and spring and rainbow were already taken, so she got stuck with Thrush. Okay, they don't actually explain that, but it makes sense to me. Doc calls the police about his problem, but as they're a tad preoccupied with horribly mutilated corpses by the roadside, no one can come down to pick her up, meaning she can slip away at night. Only for Sheriff Fowler, played by Harrison Page, to drive Doc down to the tree hugger's hideout by morning. There's not exactly a lot of trees around here, so... cactus cuddlers?
She's not here.
She's not?
She's not here.
We live out in the middle of fucking nowhere, and there's 50 people in the whole damn city, and you mean to tell me she's not here? Or he was really showing her by wasting his own time, and not hers at all. Whatever. We gotta move on to see the teenage daughter of one of Eunice's higher-ups sneak out for reckless driving while drinking.
I'd like to see the slow-mo on that one.
Please die.
Hey man, I'm gonna go take a piss. I'll be right back.
Fuck's sake, it's more reliable than chat roulette. No surprises, the dinosaur goes right for the crotch. Slightly more unusual, the tiny critter is somehow not satisfied with such a little meal and makes quick work of all the teens present. Revealing the terrifying truth that so long as you do absolutely nothing against a 2-foot-tall critter about as dangerous as a schnauzer ripping you to shreds, the human race is doomed! That night, Thrush is walking along the street alone, because that way Doc can happen to find her and offer her a ride, which she refuses until he holds the environment hostage.
If you don't come, I swear to God, I'm gonna drive around aimlessly for hours. I'm gonna be wasting oil, I'm gonna be polluting the atmosphere, killing small animals along the road.
I already burnt down 3 orphanages on the way here, so you better stop me! So she agrees, and they make it all of 5 feet before running into yet another issue.
He says it's eating him.
What?
I guess he means the pain.
Because of those giant fucking bite marks. It does look painful, I'll give you that much. But what about the escaped dino from earlier? It's grown much fucking bigger in the span of one day, now an adult Deinonychus. And yes, they are apparently bulletproof. These scenes don't exactly flow naturally in the movie anyway, so fuck it. Next semi-important thing is the Eunice employee whose daughter was torn to shreds by the baby dino is brought in to speak with Dr. Tiptree via the intercom.
It's all right. Be angry. Allow yourself to feel the anger. It'll be better.
Honestly, lady, I try to avoid the angry reviewer shtick. It's kind of hard to make the same joke be funny for over 200 episodes.
She's alive, and she's here.
Yes, my friend.
You lying cunt! I saw her disemboweled within the first 15 minutes! And no, she is dead! This distraction was merely a means to get the man to shuffle down the secret corridor into the hidden dinosaur rave with laser force field technology.
Delete coax.
Which means the escaped dinosaur was not the first. She had a T-Rex on retainer. No, I know they weren't supposed to question her work down there, but did no one wonder why she just so happened to need several hundred pounds of meat shipped there every day? Or a couple new interns. Fuck my ability to segue logically from scene to scene, because guess what? We're back to the dig site, where the peaceful protesters have decided to chain themselves to the excavation equipment to take a stand against the destruction of the Earth. This is why you gotta be damn sure about where you hold your nonviolent protests. Nah, Doc's a softie. Really. In fact, he's gonna go get some food.
Can I get anyone a tofu burger, vegetarian sprout wheatgrass sandwich? Maybe some herbal tea?
Is it, or is it not, organic? Savage. So he's off to Jay's Diner, where we see no one thinks to cover their mouths when they cough, and the hot topic tonight is the recent string of deaths.
I heard it was some sort of psycho cannibal job.
You've been watching too many of them Italian zombie flicks.
Hey, they're good research material for practical effects and meat carving techniques. As we clearly saw coming, while Doc is getting a bite to eat, so is our ever-growing dinosaur friend at the dig site, picking off the helpless victims one by one. Though it is kind of strange how her own dismemberment seems to have calmed this woman down. Doc does return in time to catch the creature in the act, scaring it off, but only after it has managed to kill abso-fucking-lutely everyone else, except for Thrush, whom either fainted or just fell asleep. I mean, we did just establish that being murdered by a dinosaur has an extremely calming effect on these people. She comes to in Doc's trailer, now unbound from her chains, which he didn't have a key to, because fuck it. Point is we get some character building as she explores his place and finds an old book of... oh. Right, so that was Dream? Or was it... or it was? The fuck happened? Nothing terribly important to the plot as opposed to Doc's nighttime adventures, finding the Uni's truck full of dead people, but using this to Agent 47 his way into the company's local HQ, pretending he caught the creature I didn't know they were trying to, by dressing up the two bodies as if they were the dinosaur, and hoping the security guys don't remember they sent 2 people out, not 1. And they don't! I know chickens turning into dinosaurs and going on a rampage can get a little confusing, but didn't these fuckers even invest in ID badges? Now held up by gunpoint, we do get to learn exactly what in the fuck Dr. Tiptree was doing. Turns out she's responsible for the minor illnesses a few characters have as well.
I designed it.
You were genetically modifying chickens. How the hell did you make a spare disease on the side? Through the chickens. Okay, so your master plan was to increase demand for and therefore jack up the price of Sudafed. While causing a dinosaur panic in the town, of course. Mustn't forget that. Still, she doesn't seem to be very good at the concept of controlled experiments, as evidently even the people working there have been infected, with shockingly high fevers.
What is it? Oh, it's just a little over 100.
Bullshit! It was going past 109. And then the 9 turned back into a 0 saying just 100. But point is, temperatures over 108 should fucking kill her! But this is magic movie diseases, so she doesn't die. Instead, just feeling very uncomfortable as she suddenly goes into labor.
Breathe. Breathe. Push.
Jesus Christ.
What the fuck was that? Yeah, she laid an egg, and this killed her. All this from a viral infection. And yes, this is Dr. Tiptree's master plan. You see, Dr. Tiptree wants to save the Earth, but not by recycling or conserving water, mind you, but by killing the entire human race. And in order to do this, she has designed a virus that kills off all the women, preventing reproduction. And it also makes dinosaurs. Come to think of it, that second part sounds like a really unnecessary complication to this plan. Not to mention that the giant fucking killer animals running around has garnered the attention of the military who have arrived to quarantine the area, complete with hazmat suits, security checkpoints, and more than enough ammunition for everybody.
The Earth was not made for us. She was made for the dinosaurs. The Earth was scaled to their dimensions.
You know, dinosaurs weren't the only creatures running around back then. No one seems to give a shit about therapsids anymore.
That's really fabulous. Like a great theme park.
Yeah, but then Universal can sue. She continues to slowly explain the plot to Doc while the others witness one of the women impregnated by the virus, can't believe I said that, giving birth to the egg, and they realize just how fucked the human race is.
Tiptree's dissertation. Eliminate the female and the male is incapable of continuing the species. It's so brilliant.
Eliminate all the men, though, and the women will just grow dicks. At least according to Crichton. Well, that's all they've been doing here for like 10 minutes is going back and forth with slow, talky scenes, talking about how fucked the human race is. So let's go back to Sheriff Fowler so we might at least get some entertaining bits.
Come on! Come on out!
Yeah, there's nothing to suggest anything was there. He's just driving around town brandishing a shotgun. Oh well, at least it beats listening to how Whataburger is killing Mother Earth for the umpteenth time. Luckily, in his random sweep, he does manage to trip across the very street the Donatichus was on. It's hardly impressive, though, when it's obvious that the fucker's using an aimbot. Before you think he's the action hero of this movie, though, he suddenly thinks he's using a video game shotgun that only works within 30 inches, giving the dino the chance to shove his Tokla right up his ass, meaning they both fall.
Let's talk worst-case scenarios.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call a sickle claw suppository a positive outcome. Oh, wait, we're back to the guys trying to figure out how to save the human race. You can tell this is a serious conversation as they brought out the Coca-Cola again.
Eunice has been working on artificial wombs for years.
Artificial wombs?
So, Tiptree's master plan is easily fucked up by the artificial womb program being performed by the very same company she was working for. How come no one knew about it? Was this another one that was just secret for the sake of the plot? Fucking instantly, they start talking about genetically modifying humans to be bigger and stronger on top of it. Back on the chicken virus, human virus, dino virus plot with the doc, though, he demands that Tiptree give him the raw viral serum so that it may be used to produce a vaccine. Much to the horror of Jenny McCarthy. Threatening her egg kids does score him the serum, but rather than escape via the front door, Doc instead runs off into the secret laser dinosaur rave.
Delete conical projection.
Meaning that while the Deinonychus is dead, the T-Rex has broken free. Again, it was released earlier, and she managed to get it back in the pen somehow. It might be like Ark Survival Evolved, where the thing has a radial menu. Eh? Point is, Doc escapes and outruns the T-Rex back to the dig site, waking up Thrush, who was sleeping the whole time. So it was a dream sequence earlier? Or was it not? I mean, the plot doesn't really change either way, but I'd like to know.
I dreamt that the sun was alive, and the planets were all her eggs, and that the earth was cracking open.
But Corman couldn't afford that, so he just handed me a coloring book and said, work with it. No surprise, she's feverish as well. Probably a fever of 138 or some shit. So to deal with this problem...
Are you sure about this? I mean, the FDA wouldn't approve, you know, man.
The fuck are you doing? That's the raw viral serum! You have to at very least kill the virus to even make the most rudimentary vaccine!
Here we go.
This just in time for the Rex to march down to the trailer, meaning that our climactic battle is underway. It's decent enough for a Corman production, as the two of them drive the excavation equipment around, battling the Rex in a way that bears more than a passing resemblance to Ripley in the Power Loader versus the Queen Alien. And it's not on the same level, it's not this huge epic thing, but I do think it pays homage to it, and it is fun enough on its own. The Rex manages to flip Doc's ride, though, leaving him vulnerable, until Thrush drives over and distracts the beast from its meal, then passes out. Oh well, Doc's still here, so that means he can save the meek, helpless woman who saved his own meek, helpless ass, goring the Rex with the vehicle, and giving us our one-liner before the killing blow.
I hate wildlife.
It's just not the same without slow motion and explosions. Don't ask me how a T-Rex is supposed to explode, that's for the filmmakers to figure out. So, happy ending! Doc gets Thrush back into bed and catches a radio signal checking for survivors. Everything's going to be oh, that's right. Quarantine. So, that's it. Everyone is fucking dead, and the whole place is burnt to the ground, including the virus. Which makes that whole subplot entirely useless. Well, I guess I needed something to fill out the running time of 82 minutes? Well, that was Carnosaur. It's better than most Asylum flicks. It's still pretty damn bad, mind you, and by far what I find the biggest problem is one that has nothing to do with the budget. That is, the plot. The main villain's motivations are acceptable, and I'm even willing to let slide that she pulled all this off in a year and a half with whatever funding she needed, and no one questioned it at all due to contractual obligations. But sweet fuck, what the hell was with the execution? We start off with chickens growing into dinosaurs, which of course is the whole hook of the movie, and actually is linked to science, as there are experiments going on right now on chickens that are bringing out older genes in certain specimens, and embryos have allegedly expressed more dinosaurian traits. The problem to me is when things suddenly jump ship from a dinopocalypse to a virus spread among humans. The crazy shit about the human virus is that it makes no fucking sense whatsoever how it could cause mammals to suddenly lay eggs of fucking dinosaurs. Why does this kill them? How the hell am I supposed to take any of that seriously? But then, of course, we get the antivirus subplot, which goes nowhere, and the movie ends. The darker ending is understandable given the circumstances, but it certainly comes off very reminiscent of zombie movies, and along with the human virus creating dinosaur eggs, everything just went so far fucking off the original path that it leaves me wondering why the hell the movie even had genetic experiments on chickens in the first place. The thing is, Carnosaur, despite its wonky-ass plotline, and the seemingly random way the movie jumps from scene to scene at times, still does have entertaining value to it. The acting is alright, and while the special effects suffer from the low budget, they still manage to look very good considering the film was made in a week and a half for $1 million. Add this all up, and I'm comfortable with saying Carnosaur ranks 2 therapeutic dismemberments out of 5. It's one of those films that is fun to watch with friends, especially if you're into the genre, but don't think you can pass it off as even average to an audience that's not incredibly drunk. Thank you all for watching, I've been Dr. Shado, and remember, if you plan to usurp the human race with dinosaurs, you kinda need to mix a few herbivores in there to, balance the ecosystem. Otherwise, all that speech about being this new peaceful planet will sound even crazier.
Each little blueberry is coated with a thin layer of goat embryonic fluid.